grammar without any effort. Welcome to your digital classroom. I am Saji KV and you are watching my channel, the EUREKA. Let's learn participle. Present participle. Let's examine a sentence. You are watching an interesting video. Let's examine this sentence. How many finite verbs are there in this sentence? You are watching an interesting video. There is only one finite verb. How do you find out the finite verb? By changing the tense of the sentence into either simple present tense or simple past. So let us turn that sentence into simple present. You watch an interesting video. Here you find watching alone changed its form when you change the tense of the sentence. You watch an interesting video. Here, an interesting is not a finite verb, but it is a non-finite verb. What type of non-finite verb is it? It is a present participle. Present participle and gerund look alike because both end in ing form. Present participle does the work of an adjective, whereas gerund does the work of a noun. In the previous video, we learned gerund and the functions of gerund. I give you the link of the gerund in the description. Kindly go through so that you may understand the difference between present participle and the gerund. A non-finite verb that does the work of an adjective is called present participle. Present participle always ends in ing form. For example, swimming, sleeping, going, walking, etc. Now, let's learn the uses of present participle. A present participle can be used in 6 ways. It can be used before a noun. Subject complement, object complement, adjective phrase, absolute phrase, and to express an action of the subject. Thus, a present participle can be used in 6 ways. There are 3 types of participle: present participle, past participle, and perfect participle. Present participle always the 4th form of the verb, verb 1 plus ing, like swimming, dancing, singing. Past participle is always 3rd form of the verb, like written, broken, spoken, and so on. And perfect participle is having plus verb 3, having broken, having written, having gone. Now, let's go through the uses of present participle. First use, present participle can be used before a noun. For example, a barking dog seldom bites. Here, which is the finite verb? Bites is the finite verb. Then what about barking? So here barking is a non-finite verb. It is present participle. It modifies the dog. A barking dog tells about the dog, modifies the noun. A word that modifies a noun or a pronoun is called an adjective. And here the word barking modifies the dog. Thus, it is used as an adjective and it is used before a noun to modify the noun. Barking dog. Dog is the noun and barking modifies the dog and is used before the noun. Let's examine another example. Don't disturb the sleeping dog. Here sleeping is the present participle and word sleeping modifies the dog. And where is it used? It is used before the noun, sleeping dog. Thus word sleeping modifies dog. Thus we have learned present participle can be used before a noun. Now let's learn the second use of present participle. Present participle can be used as subject complement. For example, his class is boring. Here his class is boring. Boring is the present participle. It is not a finite verb because if you change the tense of the sentence, it will not change its form. His class was boring. His class is good. His class is bad. Bad, good. We know they are adjectives. In the same way, here boring is adjective. And the word boring modifies, tells about the subject. Thus here present participle used as subject complement. Let's examine one more example to understand it. His behavior is irritating. Here irritating tells about the behavior. Behavior is the subject of the verb is. Thus irritating is the subject complement, tells about the subject. Thus we have learned a participle can be used before a noun. It can be used as subject complement. Now let's learn the third use of present participle. Present participle can be used as object complement. Look at the example. I found the boy playing. So here I found the boy playing. Which is the participle? Playing is the present participle. And here, which is the object of the verb? I found the boy. Found whom? Boy. So here boy is the object of the verb found. We know how to find out the object of a verb by asking two questions. What or whom? Found what? Here no answer. Found whom? The boy. Now present participle is playing. I found the boy playing. The word playing tells about boy, not about found, not about I. And we have already learned boy is the object of the verb, and therefore present participle playing tells about the object of the verb. Thus, the word playing modifies the object. Thus, it is used as object complement. Let's examine one more sentence. I saw the sun rising. I saw the sun rising. Which is the present participle? Rising. Yes. Now, the word rising modifies which word? The sun. I saw the sun rising. The sun rising. So here, present participle rising modifies the sun. And we know sun is the object of the verb so. So what? The sun. And here the rising modifies the sun. Thus we have learned a present participle can modify object of a verb. So here it is used as object complement. Now the next use, let's learn the fourth use of it. It can be used to form adjective phrase. For example, the boys playing in the garden are my friends. The boys playing in the garden are my friends. Here, which is the participle? Which is the present participle? You find playing. And that playing present participle used to frame a phrase. Playing in the garden. Playing is the present participle and used to frame a phrase. So here, this one here used as adjective phrase. That is to say, present participle is used to frame the adjective phrase. Let's examine one more sentence. The girl sitting on the chair is very intelligent. Now, which is the present participle? Yes, sitting. The girl sitting on the chair. And here, sitting is the present participle and used to frame a phrase. Thus, we learn present participle can be used to frame an adjective phrase. Now, let's learn the next use of present participle. Present participle can be used to frame an absolute phrase. Look at it being hot. We cannot go out today. Now, here being is the present participle and it is used to frame an absolute phrase, an absolute construction. It being hot. So here, it being hot is an absolute phrase. If you split that sentence into two, we understand the meaning of it. It is hot, we cannot go out. It being hot, we cannot go out. Now let's examine another sentence. It having rained, we could not go home. Now here, look at this sentence. It having rained. So here having plus third form of the verb is used to frame. Here having is used because it rained. And there we learned it being hot. When be form of the verb is there, we use being. When other forms of verb like write, speak, go, we use having plus third form of the verb. So here it having rained, we could not go home. The next use, to express an early action of the subject. For example, seeing the policeman, the thief ran away. So here, who ran away? The thief ran away. Who saw the policeman? The thief saw the policeman. That is to say, seeing is the action of the subject. Here in this sentence, which is the subject of the verb? The thief is the subject of the verb. Seeing the policeman, the thief ran away. So here the early action or action of the subject. Seeing tells about the action of the subject. Thus, present participle can be used to express the action of the subject. Now, when there is no time gap between two actions, we use merely ing form, seeing, watching, going, and so on. When there is a time gap between two actions, we use perfect participle having plus third form of the verb. For example, having eaten lunch, he went out. There is a time gap between two actions. He ate his lunch, he went out. So here, if you say eating lunch, he went out, it will be wrong, because it shows when the action of eating was in progress, he went out. That does not make proper sense. When there is a time gap between two actions, we use having plus third form of the verb. Having eaten lunch, he went out. Let's examine one more sentence to understand. Having finished his work, he went home. Here, after completing his work, he went home. The action is over. Then the person left. When there is time gap between two actions, we use having plus third form of the verb, that is to say, perfect participle. And when there is no time gap between two actions, we use merely present participle. For example, hearing the noise, the crow flew away. So here you find there is no time gap between two actions. When there is no time gap between two actions, we use merely present participle. Hearing the noise. Hearing the noise, the crow flew away. And there is no time gap between two actions. So here we find hearing is the present participle used to express the action of the subject. Thus, we have learned present participle can be used in 6 ways. It can be used before a noun as subject complement, object complement, adjective phrase, absolute phrase, and to express an action of the subject. Thanks for watching this video. If you like, please subscribe, like and share.